С учетом предложения возглавить список партии, заняться партийной работой и при удачном выступлении на выборах моей готовности заняться практической работой в правительстве, я считаю, что было бы правильно, чтобы съезд поддержал кандидатуру председателя партии Владимира Путина на должность президента страны.
Весной следующего года выборы президента Российской Федерации. В этой связи хочу вам высказать слова благодарности за положительную реакцию на предложение баллотироваться мне в качестве президента России. Для меня это огромная честь. После избрания президента предстоит формирование правительства Российской Федерации. Уважаемые друзья, все это чрезвычайно важные этапы создания базовых условий для политической стабильности в России, без которой мы не сможем с вами не поступательно развивать экономику, не обеспечить повышение уровня благосостояния наших граждан. Но первый шаг на этом пути – это, как мы с вами говорили, выборы Государственной Думы. И в этой связи я хочу обратиться ко всем, кто находится в этом зале, ко всем членам партии «Единая Россия», ко всем нашим сторонникам. Хочу обратиться ко всем гражданам России. Поддержать на выборах в Государственную Думу «Единую Россию». Проголосовать за ее кандидатов во главе с Дмитрием Анатольевичем Медведевым. Уверен, что «Единая Россия» победит, и, опираясь на общенародную поддержку, Дмитрий Анатольевич сможет создать новую, эффективно функционирующую, молодую, энергичную управленческую команду, возглавит правительство Российской Федерации для того, чтобы продолжить работу по модернизации всех сторон нашей жизни. Спасибо большое за внимание.
Vladimir Putin has taken the world by surprise, announcing not only his own candidacy for president of Russia, but also Dmitry Medvedev's parallel candidacy for the position of prime minister at the head of the United Russia slate. With this announcement at the National Convention of the United Russia Party, Putin caught the world off balance. While the British had been counting on a split, cultivating a supposed conflict between Medvedev and Putin over the past 4 years as their scheme for controlling Russia and containing the threat of a strong Russian nation-state and presidency. The joint announcement of a candidacy by Putin and Medvedev as a team has now turned that strategy on its head. We can be sure that Putin's action of judoing this British divide-and-conquer strategy has thrown London into a state of utter rage and consternation. In so doing, Vladimir Putin has outsmarted the British. We here at LaRouche PAC, and Lyndon LaRouche personally, would like to extend our congratulations to Vladimir Putin for this ingenious act of strategic warfare against our nation's common enemy, the British Empire. These are the actions of a truly qualified strategic commander who understands exactly who the enemy is and what the game is which the enemy plays. As we can see with Putin's bold moves this weekend, in combination with the development agreements between Russia and China on space, rail, and nuclear, including the Russians' intention to go for a rail connection across the Bering Strait, a potential Great Pacific Alliance is now in the making. The missing ingredient in this alliance, however, is the political will to make it happen from inside the United States. Therefore, now it's time that we in the United States reciprocate Putin's victory. We have to follow up on Putin's announcement by making another move from here, which will take the empire by surprise, to throw Barack Obama out of the White House immediately. He is a perfectly qualified candidate, not for president, but for the 25th Amendment, Section 4. He's certifiably insane, not to mention being a British tool, and therefore should not be president in a time of crisis. Obama is the only obstacle right now standing between us and an all-out geopolitical revolution towards this Great Pacific Alliance, which represents the only possible future for a world which is now watching the implosion of the transatlantic system. Counterpose the ungovernability sweeping the nations of Europe and the hyperinflationary attempts to save their bankrupt monetary system to the physical development perspective which the nations of Asia, especially China and Russia, have adopted. And then ask yourself, why does this president insist on pulling us down with the sinking transatlantic ship? Why would anybody in their right mind continue to make excuses for this administration when all the evidence shows that he is working for the enemy against the interests of this nation? Anyone who considers themselves a patriot of the United States should act immediately with the same courage which Putin showed in Russia to deliver another strategic victory against the empire by removing Obama from the presidency. What's critical for the American people to understand today, to grasp the full implications of the geopolitical turning point at which we now find ourselves, is that Russia and the United States have always had a common enemy in the British Empire. Since Catherine the Great came in on the side of the American Revolution with the League of Armed Neutrality, to Russia's threats to declare war on Great Britain during our Civil War if the British came out in support of the Confederacy, the best minds in both Russia and the United States understood that our nation's common interest lay in defeating the British Empire. And Franklin Roosevelt kept this alliance alive during World War II, making very clear to Winston Churchill that he intended to work directly with Russia, and China too, after the victory against Hitler was achieved, to bring an end to British colonialism by developing the economic potential of every nation on the planet. This strategic vision of Roosevelt's, however, has been in a state of suspended animation for 65 years, since his untimely death. And the British have been desperate to prevent its resurgence by attempting to pit the United States, Russia, and China one against the other through the era of the Cold War and in the 2 decades since, in addition to inducing each nation individually to destroy themselves from within. The British very well know that a Russian-American-Chinese alliance will eliminate any chances of their empire surviving, and a resurgence of Roosevelt's strategic vision will unleash a completely new era for humanity, driven by explosions in scientific achievement and technological potential for the entire human race. The actions taken by Putin this weekend, therefore, are a matter of great consequence. Contrary to the internal destabilization strategy that the British have tried to play between Medvedev and Putin, the assurance of political unity and strength among the leadership of Russia, oriented as they are now around upgrading the physical economic potential of much of the landmass of Central and East Asia, and extending a hand to the Americas across the Bering Strait, presents a solid keystone around which to organize a global strategic revolution. This is a crucial victory in an ongoing war against the British Empire, which has been centuries in duration, and it puts us one step further on the pathway towards the Great Pacific Alliance as the new destiny of mankind. However, to actualize the potential which this victory represents will require the same bold leadership and cunning strategic understanding as we just saw exhibited by Vladimir Putin to be reciprocated by patriots inside the United States. Stay tuned to LPAC TV for an upcoming official announcement by the members of the LaRouche Democratic slate of their candidacies for Congress as we continue to consolidate the new presidency for the post-Obama world. Signing off, this is Matthew Ogden. Good night.